You're now listening to the 1130 podcast. Enjoy the show.
Yo, what it do, everybody? It's your man Dre, aka Dre on Wheels. Y'all already know what it is, man. Welcome back, everyone, to the 1130 podcast. What's good, everybody going out there? It is Wednesday, you guys. I'm back at it here for the podcast. Good morning to everyone who's listening to me on EB Radio this morning. It's going to be another great show, for real, man. I'm glad you guys tuning in. And for everyone who's tuning in on YouTube, thank you guys for tuning back into the 1130 podcast. If you're new to the podcast, you already know, man. Subscribe to the 1130 podcast on YouTube, like it, leave a comment, and do all that great stuff. And don't forget to follow the 1130 podcast on all social media platforms. But you guys, like I said, man, it's the middle of the week. You know what time it is. It's not 7:30, it's 11:30. It's time for the podcast. I got a great guest, you guys, that's joining me here today. My guy, AJ Hollywood. He's the host of the Ravers Circle Podcast. Yes, man, I've been networking with my guy in the groups for some time, and I have the honor to have him here on the 1130 podcast this week. So it's going to be real fun. But before we get to that, shout out my guest who was on last week, my guy Quincy, the host of the Talk to Cute radio show. Appreciate you, my guy, for coming on the show. It was really, really dope. But speaking of the show, let's get into it. We ain't gonna waste no more time. Yo, AJ Hollywood, what's going on, bro?
Yo, what's going on? I'm your boy AJ Hollywood. Thank you again, man, having me on the podcast. It means a lot. I know we've been networking and whatnot behind the scenes, but yeah, for everybody that's tuning into the podcast, I go by AJ Hollywood. I'm a fellow podcast host as well, and I'm just happy to be on this platform. So,
hey man, that's what's up. I'm proud and I'm happy to have you here this week here on the 1130 podcast. How's life treating you, man?
Hey, I can't complain, man. Honestly, you know, it's just been busy times for me. Not bad busy, but good busy. You know, like I mentioned, I have my own podcast as well. I work a full-time job. I also am a DJ and a producer, so I do DJing at a lot of the big name venues here in Colorado, and I also do music production as well. So I'm a producer and just an overall content creator. So like I mentioned, I have my podcast, I have my music, and I do a lot of behind the scenes content as well. So
okay, that's what's up, man. We definitely was gonna get into that, but while we at it though, tell my listeners, you know, a little bit more about you, man, and also the Ravers Circle Podcast.
Oh, for sure. So just a little bit about me as far as my background. So I go by AJ Hollywood. I was a military brat, moved around a lot when I was younger. And I've lived many of places. I've lived in Alaska, I've lived in Hawaii, Virginia, Maryland, Washington, D.C., the Carolinas. So basically all over the East Coast. And okay. I ended up joining the military myself. And so I joined the military. I was in the United States Army for 8 years. I served from 2010 to 2018. And yeah, during that time period, you know, music was my outlet while I was in the military. Even before the military, growing up, I was in band ensemble in grade school and in high school. I was in a marching band. I was in band for many of years, and I was a percussionist. And so I play many type of percussion instruments like snare drum, bass drum. I played the timpani, xylophone, bell, cymbals. If it was any type of percussion instrument, I played it. And so I had a musical background before I got into, you know, the music industry. And yeah, it's just kind of been my outlet. It's been my escape. And so I actually got into music as far as DJing from a buddy of mine when I was in the military. And so we just had gotten back from deployment. One of the sergeants that was in my unit, he had a little get together at his house. And when I was over there, I noticed he had like a unique setup, like over by where his computer was at. And so he just started like mixing in songs, and like it just sounded like flawless, like real flawless. The transitions were on point. He was beat matching, and his song selection was on point as well. And so I asked him, I was like, man, you're really good at this. Like, I'm very curious on how to do this. And I asked him, like, I want to learn. Like, how do you do this so well? And so he showed me the ropes, taught me all of the basics when it came to DJing. And then, man, ever since then, it just kind of took off. It just took off. Like, I was setting up gigs and like networking and like putting myself out there in the streets well before I even got out the military. And so by the time that I got out, I was getting a booking here, I was getting a booking there. I was playing at some of these top-notch establishments all throughout Colorado. And so, yeah, that's just kind of been my journey.
Okay, that's what's up. That's what's up. What led you into the military, though?
Honestly, and I'll be honest with y'all, like I didn't have like a purpose for anything when I graduated high school. And what I mean by that is at that time, I didn't have a clear sight on like what my career would be. Like music has just been my life, honestly. Like it's been my hobby. Like most kids, like growing up, you know, all of my friends, like people I knew, like they'll go to parties or they'll do all of these extracurricular activities. But like I can honestly say I did not have any hobbies growing up. Like it was literally music and playing video games every now and then, you know, playing like PlayStation, Xbox, all that good stuff. But as far as hobbies, I didn't have any real hobbies. And so, you know, I didn't have a career path. And so like, I didn't know if I wanted to be like in like criminal justice. I didn't know if like math was my strong suit, science was my strong suit. I did not have a particular career path. So I was like, well, I come from a military family, you know, both of my parents served. And that's just kind of like the lifestyle I've been, you know, accustomed to. So I was like, well, why don't I just join the military myself? And maybe the military can give me some guidance, give me some structure. And then while I'm in the military, I can decide on a career path if I just want to do like my initial term and then get out the military. And so yeah, that's what led to me joining the military, was because I didn't have a set career path. Like my only thing was music, and then like music's not going to pay the bills unless you like blow up as a big artist.
Exactly.
But
Yeah, I definitely understand, man. I definitely, because you know, I always tell the story, you know, straight out of high school, you know, the normal is, you know, go right back to school, go to college and stuff like that. And you know, me, I just didn't want to do that, you know, and I went to school a couple of times. I learned some things from it, but I just was like, you know, how you say, you know, music was just it for you. You know, I dipped and dabbed and did some music for me, but it wasn't, I wasn't, I guess, privileged enough to be around certain individuals who, I mean, my brother, you know, he did music, you know, he was the theme song for him for the podcast for some time, but, you know, he had it set up a certain way, you know, at his home, and it wasn't necessarily wheelchair accessible for me, but I wasn't, you know, I didn't have access to get to that music stuff to, you know, drive that, you know, hunger that I wanted to do. But, you know, me, I knew, you know, what I wanted to do was just, you know, get up here or talk on a podcast. Didn't know how to do it, you know,
right.
Everybody knew I just love wrestling, you know, and I wanted to not just talk about wrestling, but, you know, go outside the bubble and just, you know, connect with different people. Different, so many people. So I definitely understand where you're coming from, you know, just trying to, you know, figure things out, you know. What did you learn in that experience being in the military?
Man, I'm telling you, even though I got out, because I knew like, so I think part of the structuring began like when I like initially joined, because I knew right then and there, like after going through like basic training, like you get finished with boot camp, then you go to advanced individual training, which they call AIT. And I knew within my first 6 months of being in the military that even though I enjoyed doing this, I'm glad I served my country. You know, it comes with amazing benefits. Like I'm good for life. Like I get a disability check for the rest of my life. Like I get all of this access to, you know, veteran services and benefits and all kind of stuff. But what I learned was like I knew I wasn't going to do this long term, even though this was good for me for the time being. I had to tell myself, okay, this is what's going on currently. This is my current plan. What is your long term plan? Where do you want to see yourself 5 years from now, 10 years from now, a decade plus, you know? And so I decided, man, I really want to pursue music.
Mhm.
I just want to pursue entertainment in general because I love, there's many parts of the entertainment industry that I'm just very infatuated with. And so basically during that time frame, during my initial 6 to 9 months in the military, my first 6 to 9 months, I decided, okay, let me lay down the plan. And so my plan was, hey, I'm going to receive my military benefits. And part of those benefits was going to school. So I'm going to go to school, get my degree in business. I got my bachelor's degree in business administration. So get my degree in that. And then when I get out of the military, work a day job and just keep grinding, save up, and, you know, put all that more money that I saved up towards, you know, getting a digital audio workstation, getting equipment, you know, for the studio, things of that nature. And then here I am.
Hey, I definitely dig it, man. I definitely dig it. You know, you got to save up some money, you know, to actually, you know, invest in. You got to invest in yourself, man. I think that's the most important thing when you doing anything you're doing, whether you're an actor, entertainer, DJ, podcaster. Invest in yourself, man, and it'll work out for the long run. Who did you look up to, you know, in music, you know, who kind of like led this passion of music to, you know, towards you, you know, and also in DJ?
Oh man, that, like, it's hard to ask a DJ that, but for myself personally, I'll just name some of my influences, like when it comes to music as a whole. Michael Jackson being one of the earliest influences for me. Like I grew up on Michael Jackson. I grew up on the likes of Dr. Dre. One of my influences when it comes to just hip hop in general, like that's what I grew up on. Dr. Dre, Bone Thugs and Harmony, 3 6 Mafia, who the both of those groups just did a versus recently. So groups like that, and even like Outkast, like gotta name Outkast. Currently, the Drakes, the J. Coles, the Kendricks, and then I also have like artists like Joey Badass that I like. Earl Sweatshirt put out a new album. I gotta mention him. Phenomenal album. I love Earl Sweatshirt. His lyrics and bars, he can go like rounds with people. Like he goes in. So him. As far as like recent like inspirations, Tyler the Creator, like from where he started to where he's at now. Other genres of music, I gotta say, Cascade, one of my favorite all-time artists. Cascade, Deadmauss, Carl Cox, Excision. Those are just some of, you know, my influences as well.
Okay, cool. Some really big influences, man. I heard Michael Jackson and you know, a number of great few and great selections, man. That's really dope. That's really dope. As far as in DJs and stuff like that, what keeps you going and inspired?
Honestly, what keeps me going is the camaraderie within the music scene. Like going to events, going to a concert, going to a festival, and it just being so lively. Everything is so vibrant. Everything is so, it's the one time where a group of people are together and they're smiling. They're having fun. Like they're living in the moment. They go to a nightclub and the DJ's playing, you know, one of the top songs that's on the radio right now. When they go to a concert and they see their favorite artist, they go to I'm just naming examples. They go to a Ariana Grande concert. They go to a Justin Timberlake concert. They go to a Russ concert. They go to a Big Sean concert. You know, everyone, you know, in that moment, they're living and having fun and singing along the lyrics to their favorite artists. And,
Yeah.
environments like that just like give me so much fuel. It gives me so much energy because like they can be working a 9 to 5, not getting paid much money. The average, concert goer or festival goer, they can be going through relationship problems, financial problems, problems with families, friends, colleagues, you name it. But during that short period of time when they're at a club, they're at a concert, they're at a music festival, all of that is put into another box. Like all they're focused on is having fun, living their best life, and just being in the moment.
Okay, I dig it. And that's where the Ravers Circle Podcast came about from, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is how it came about.
Hey, I dig that. I really do. As far as being in concerts and stuff, and now with the world and the pandemic, how you been handling it? Have you been wanting to go to concerts lately, or how you been maintaining in the pandemic life?
Man, like I think so when we first went on lockdown and we weren't having, concerts for a while, all I can think to myself was, man, I took a lot of things for granted. And a lot of people in the rave scene would echo that. Like they feel like, once COVID like first put everything on lockdown at the beginning of 2020, people were like, man, maybe I should have went to that rave. I should have went to this concert, this festival. I should have went to this event, or I should have like gone out more with my friends to these events. But like they put it to the back burner. We're like, oh, this artist is going to be here. Oh, I'll go. Like we can like pick and choose easily. Like especially in a city like Denver, Colorado. So I'm currently in Colorado, and a city like Denver, man, we get some of the biggest and best names in electronic dance music. Like you get all of the heavy hitters, and like people will take that for granted. And I think during the pandemic, like when everything was on lockdown, I told myself, when things open back up, I will never take advantage, of going to these events again. I'm going to be as active as possible because you just never know. You never know. And so, I've learned to not take anything for granted, and to, go to as many events as possible, not just to attend a concert, but like for networking purposes, spending time with, your friends and whatnot. So yeah, that's what I learned.
Okay. I definitely dig it, man. I definitely dig it. Cause out of this whole pandemic time, we seen a lot of people who DJs and stuff, and especially when like you said, the clubs and everything was locked down, they were going on social media and having, a nice little party, get to tune in live and stuff like that. Did you dip and dab in any stuff like that? Or you just like, I'm just gonna hold off and just wait for the perfect time?
I kind of held off just to wait for the perfect time. But it was definitely in the back of my mind for sure.
Okay. That's what's up. I dig it, man. Hey, you guys, man, we're gonna move on here on the podcast as we speak in on music. Dolph, young rapper who was killed last year and stuff like that. Have you heard about the situation and stuff?
Yeah, I did hear about the situation, and man, it's so unfortunate, especially like when it's in your own hometown, man.
Yeah,
it was in his own hometown, and like I can't even imagine like how his loved ones feel.
Yeah,
like such a tragic, incident all around.
Yeah, I brought that back up. I mentioned it a couple of times here on the podcast. Just him, young rappers or just rappers at that, just losing their life to just senseless stuff, and the suspects who murdered them were captured and stuff, and just so much crap that goes on. You got to be careful who you hang around. And one of the cars that were found in the murder suspect, obviously it was a armed robbery. They robbed the car, stole the car, whatever, and used it in the murder. And one of the guys who was, I guess, close to young Dolph, hid the car at a place where they filmed a music video at or whatever. Like, it's just, it's so senseless and stuff like that. What do you think about today's music or hip hop?
Man, I love it, man. I mean, granted, a lot of people will say things like, it's not the same, or it's the mumble rap generation. You don't need to have a lot of talent to make it in today's, hip hop scene. But I feel like there's pockets for everything. It's more diverse as ever. Um, I think you have, a lot of artists from different cultures, different ethnicities. Even there's more, female rappers now than ever. Like, it's flooded. Like, there's more female rappers now than ever. But I think there's a pocket for everything. And I think as long as people like, just kind of go down a rabbit hole, whether it's, on your Spotify's of the world, or like, going through the YouTube rabbit hole, there's artists out there. Like, believe it or not, there's amazing artists that are killing it right now. And I know it's kind of hard for people to believe that, but there is. Like, there's a pocket for everything. Like, of course, you got the mumble rappers, you got the lyricists, the self-conscious rap, the backpack rappers, as I like to call them. But there's an avenue in the lane for everyone. And I think hip hop's in a good shape.
Okay. Okay, cool. What's your favorite, rap music to listen to? I mean, a lot of people call it mumble rap or, old school rap. What's your favorite rap? Or it doesn't matter.
Let's see. For me, I like a mixture of everything. Like, I love lyricism to death. Like, when it comes to lyricism, that's what I look for. The number two thing that I look for, secondly, is the production. Because I'm a DJ, I'm a producer. I play a lot of the stuff, like when I'm performing at a nightclub, especially like all of the popular music that's out. But one thing that I look for is, does it sound good sonically? Is it a good beat? So I do like the turn up music. Don't get me wrong. I do like the turn up music. As far as mumble rap, I don't care too much for mumble rap, but I like some of it. Like, there is, some artists that I cater to. For example, like, people will say, like Playboi Carti, they classify him as kind of like a mumble rapper. But I like Playboi Carti because he can sound a certain way and harmonize his voice for like certain beats. Like, and I think the producer is just as important as, whoever the artist is, because, certain artists, like Young Thug is a good example. Like, Young Thug is the type of artist where a beat can make or break that song. Like, what will sound good for Young Thug on one song might not sound good on another song because of how it's structured, how the beat is, so on and so forth. But I like a little bit of everything, man. Honestly, like, I try to keep an open mind. I really try to keep an open mind. So I like a little bit of everything.
Yeah, that's definitely me. I know, like, today's, hip hop has come, a long way. A lot of people say, oh, mumble rap and this rap. Hey, I enjoy it all. I like, I dip and dab into a lot of country music and hip hop. I mean, not hip hop, but country music and rock and roll. So that's definitely my alternate music. I definitely like vibing to, though. Any crazy stories you have dealt with or experienced by DJing, in the club?
Oh man, some crazy experiences. I'll give you some experiences, like, nothing too specific. They're just kind of vague, but just some instances like I've encountered while DJing. Some of the craziest things is having people come up to the booth and like do song requests. Like, song requests are fine, but like sometimes it can get a little chaotic. So, I try to, keep a good order when it comes to people coming up to the DJ booth. Like, yo, we'll get to you. I know you're requesting this song, but
what you mean about chaotic? How chaotic do it get?
Man, crowding the booth, like drinks being near the DJ equipment. Like, I get a little scared because I don't want nobody to spill nothing on thousands upon thousands of dollars of equipment. So I've seen fights, like literally like fights right in front of the DJ booth. What else have I experienced? Malfunction with the DJ equipment. I've experienced that as well. I can guarantee you 99% of all DJs at some point, even if it's only happened one time in their career, has experienced a malfunction with the DJ equipment.
Yeah.
Whether it was a fault of their own or if it was like the club equipment, whether it's the sound system, the DJ gear itself, what have you. But man, there's horror stories out there. But other than that, nothing too crazy, if I'm being honest.
Okay, that's cool, man. That's cool. Look at it. Since podcasting, I come across some very interesting stories, man, and just connecting with different people. So I know it's out there, man. I know people probably come up to you and request a song and get mad because you played their song before their song. So I know it's crazy, man. I know it definitely is. But you guys, man, here on the 1130 podcast this week, having fun with my guy AJ Hollywood. We got more coming up. We got the hot seat coming up. We got the WTF moment. We're gonna chop it up and keep chatting with my man AJ Hollywood here on the 1130 podcast. We're gonna take a quick break. Don't go nowhere, you guys. You're listening and you're watching to the 1130 podcast.
TV is killer, but the way we watch it is not.
With which?
So, let's do something else.
Like what?
Like channel surf with a swipe.
What are you talking about?
Talking about watch live TV wherever.
Like a food court, sir?
Sir, lady, but yeah.
Oh, baptisms.
Yup. In a car? Uh-huh. But not like that.
Like this.
Oh, family boat trip!
Are we still doing this? Yes, and record as many shows as you want.
There have to be some limits here, right?
Storage limits? Nah. Oh, hey man, throw that up on the TV. Woo!
One thing, you didn't mention the price.
Oh, yeah. $35 a month.
Get out of town!
I know. TV, like, actually made for us. Finally. Yeah, finally.
Yo, what up? This your boy Kenneth Stones, aka Coffee Weaston. This your boy DOE Good Brother Bowl. And we are the Dirty Hills. You already know, man, you tuning in to 1130 podcast. Mm-hmm. Not 7:30, but 11:30.
Dude, that's my job. Not 7:30, but 11:30.
Yeah. And you have been Dirty Hills approved.
Yo, you guys, we back here on the 1130 podcast. Appreciate everyone sticking with me throughout the commercial break. I gotta have my guy, the host of the Ravers Circle Podcast, my guy AJ Hollywood, joining me this week here on the podcast, chopping it up, just having fun, getting to know my man AJ Hollywood. Before the break, we was chatting on music and also chatting about my guy podcast, the Ravers Circle Podcast. Can you tell everyone, about your podcast and also where they can catch it at, all new episodes of it?
Oh, yes, absolutely. So, I have a podcast titled the Ravers Circle Podcast. I created this podcast because, as a fan and lover of music, I say one of my favorite genres is electronic dance music. And I got into podcasting back in 2016. I've been following many different podcasts. Some of the examples are like the Joe Budden podcast. I've been following that podcast.
Yeah.
Drink Champs. I've watched the Whiskey Ginger podcast. That's another podcast I've been tuning into. Steve-O's podcast, Steve-O's Wild Ride. So I've been like tuned into podcasting for a while, like checking out, a lot of famous entertainers' podcasts. And one day I decided, you know what? I love talking about music. Music is my outlet. It's my passion, and what I do is part of my career. I want to talk about it, and have a platform for it. I want to get into debates with people. Of course, healthy debates, not like full on arguing, but debates, talk about different topics regarding, the music scene. And so I noticed there was a lot of hip hop podcasts, but there wasn't really too many podcasts for EDM. Like the only one that came to mind at that time that I could think of was this podcast called Talks with Taboo. And he's an electronic dance music artist, specifically bass music. But I was like, man, there's not really a whole lot, of content or a niche for the electronic dance music scene. And so I was like, wow, I got it. Here's the idea. I'm going to start an electronic dance music podcast. And so me and a few other friends, we've collaborated behind the scenes, came up with the name, came up with how the format will be, what we're going to talk about, and then just all of the other little details behind the scenes. And so that came into fruition. And then August of 2020 was when we launched it. So I've had this podcast for about a year and a half now. And man, it's one of my favorite things to do. And so the Ravers Circle Podcast, we do a live stream of the podcast, but then we also have the edited version for those that missed the live stream. So it's definitely unique and different. People can chime in on the comment section. They can send us likes and follows and all of that stuff. But the podcast, the Ravers Circle Podcast, we do the live stream every Thursday, and the live stream is at 9 p.m. Eastern time. So 9 p.m. Eastern, and the live stream is done through YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and Twitch. So we do the live stream simultaneously on 4 different platforms. And then after the live stream, the next day, Friday at midnight, literally Friday at midnight, we edit it and upload it to all of the DSPs. So the Spotify's, the Apples, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, and then we have the edited video version on YouTube. So we do the live stream on Thursday nights, and then midnight Friday is when we release the edited version. So immediately, as soon as the podcast ends, we do a quick edit, make sure everything looks good to go. We finalize it, and then it's out to the streets midnight on Friday.
Hey, that's dope. That's dope. Every week, every Thursdays, you can catch the live version of the Ravers Circle Podcast and the edited version midnight and Fridays.
Yep.
All right, midnight and Fridays, you guys, and you can catch the edited version of the podcast. So make sure you tune in and subscribe wherever you get your podcast is at, for real. But you guys, man, we're gonna move on here on the podcast. I definitely love the fact that I love your passion for music, man, and I love the fact that people, have passion within themselves, in general, because as being a Black brother, man, it's real, difficult and hard, to try to find yourself and keep yourself motivated, especially if you don't have anyone to support you in your goals and your dreams and stuff like that. So I like what you're doing. Keep the passion at it, man, for the music, man, and definitely. But other than that, as far as the music goes, we were talking about music. How you feel about Kanye West and what's going on with everything with Kanye West?
It's funny you bring that up. Yeah, because I actually talked about him a couple of times on my podcast. Even though it's an EDM podcast, we'll talk about other topics too, and we'll dibble dabble on some of the other genres. But Kanye West, he because
it seems though after the divorce he just is just going. He's just getting lost now.
He is getting lost, and it's sad, man. Like, because Kanye West is one of the greats musically. There's no denying that. When it comes to Kanye West and his brand and what he's contributed to, the state of hip hop, it can't be matched, man. He's an icon. But
yeah,
I haven't been, in agreement with a lot of the stuff he's done over the last 5-6 years. It hasn't sit right with me from, and granted, everyone they're very much entitled to their opinions and their political affiliation. You do you, whatever. But I feel like he has taken some things to the extreme when it comes to his ideologies. When he supported Donald Trump, and that's his right. That's absolutely his right. It's where he took it, with his offensive remarks, to him saying slavery was a choice, to him doing all of these outlandish things to get attention. It's like, come on, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you are a black man, not only in hip hop, but in the United States of America. How can you not be in tune with yourself and this community? What we've been through over the last 5 years alone, from George Floyd to countless Eric Gardner, and that's just to name a couple. I mean, there's been countless, Breonna Taylor, our precious African American citizens being gunned down, being, terrorized, modern day lynchings.
Yeah.
And it's sad when, you have a Kanye West that downplays, all of these, instances of what's going on in our community. And then just some of the other sideshow behavior, with the whole his mess with Kim Kardashian, just I'll give you another example. When he went on Drink Champs and was going in on Big Sean. Yeah, Big Sean was like, yo, I just seen him not even 2 weeks ago. He didn't have none of that, animosity towards me. It's like he's doing a lot of these things for clicks, for likes,
for attention.
Mm-hmm. Right. He's doing it for attention. And it's like, okay, where do we draw the line? Because obviously you're not right in the head. I don't know if you need counseling. Maybe you're going through some underlying things that we don't know about, and that's your business. I get it. It could be, from his mother passing over a decade ago. It could be from a multitude of things. But one thing I could say about this Kanye West, I don't want to say situation, because it's been multiple situations he's been dealing with lately. One thing I want to say about the whole Kanye West thing in general is, man, I just hope that brother gets help, man. I don't know if he needs to go. I don't know if he's seeing a therapist or if he needs to go to counseling. I know it's easy to tear him down. It is, but in the same token, I just think he need to get help, man. I think he need to talk to somebody, get some counseling, go to a psychologist, something.
Yeah, he needs some type of help. Obviously with the the video that came out with him, knocking out a fan or someone who just wanted an autograph or whatnot. But it just seems though everything with him just came. His music is great. When someone got it for music, and he got it for music. His music is fine. It's just all the outside stuff, that distracts, everything that he got going on, and also, bringing in negative attention. So, ever since the passing of his mom, a number of years ago, it just seems though he just have not been right. And then, as far as, with us as Black brothers and stuff, we need to take that initiative to go to therapy if something is wrong, because it's not always that the stigma of Black people going to therapy. Oh man, I'm too strong for therapy. I'm not going to therapy. What I look like going to therapy? So nah, man. If you going through something and you need help, you turn to somebody and go to therapy. That's what it is.
I think why it's been so hard for the African American community in general is because we've always been told to suck it up. Our people have been enslaved for over 400 years. I mean, we've seen the worst of the worst: lynchings, beatings, being shot to death, being stabbed, racially profiled, discriminated against. We've dealt with so many things, and our ancestors have been through a lot. And so, over the years, it's always been, get over it, suck it up, you'll be all right, and it's like, I just think that's not the answer. We deal with pain, we deal with so much pain, and I don't think we should just sweep it under the rug or just brush it off. I think, Black trauma is a real thing. And I think, we're making strides. I think we are in a better position now than we have been over the last at least 20 to 30 years, even longer than that, going back to the civil rights movement and Jim Crow and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I feel like Black trauma should not be just cast to the side. And I know, we've been through a lot, within our community, but, I feel like mental health in the Black community often gets overlooked or just gets shoved to the side. And, I just want to tell all of my, Black brothers and sisters out there, go get help, man. Don't listen to, what people say as far as you need to be strong and you need to suck it up. No. Black trauma is just as important as trauma in any other ethnicity or race on the planet. Go get help, get seen, talk to somebody. We need to get out of the mind state that because of what our ancestors have gone through, our great-grandparents, our grandparents, our parents, that we just supposed to just suck it up and roll with the punches. No, it's okay if you have depression. It's okay if you have PTSD. It's okay if you're bipolar, because I know many African Americans personally that have those disorders that I just named, including myself. I'm not ashamed to admit it because, I feel like if I can, talk about my truth, it might help someone else. But mental health in the Black community definitely needs to be taken care of. We definitely got to look out for one another and get help if you need.
Yes, man. You couldn't say it any other way, brother, man. We definitely need to get help, man, and take care of one another. In the Black community, like you said, has always been swept under the rug, be strong and, don't cry, especially, for, Black boys and stuff like that. And they grow up with so much, depression and anger issues or don't want to let their feelings out because they've been told as a boy, I got to be tough, I got to be strong, and I can't cry. Exactly. So, no, man, it's good to cry. Let it out, because, you feeling like you got to be the strong one for everyone. Who's going to be the strong one for you at times? So, you just gotta, talk to someone and get some help, man. I definitely agree with that.
Oh yeah,
definitely do. But you guys, man, we're gonna move on here on the podcast, you guys, man. We're gonna keep some fun going on, man, for real. Everyone, definitely get some help. But you guys, man, it's time for the WTF moment of the week, you guys. Yes, WTF moment of the week. Each and every week here, AJ, man, I always share a WTF moment of the week, whether it may be something you heard, seen, or anything you may have come across. So, I allow my guests to go first. You have a WTF moment of the week you want to share?
Oh, a WTF moment of the week, man.
Yes.
Let me think. What has gone wild this week that I just can't wrap my... Oh, man. Okay, I got one. My WTF moment of the week is got to give it to the new governor of Virginia, Glenn Youngkin, I think is his name. Okay. Something like that. But the man is already turning Virginia upside down, man. And like I mentioned earlier, everyone has their own political beliefs. But my WTF moment is him wanting to abolish critical race theory in schools. He wants to get rid of it. And I know that's been kind of a hot topic, especially over the past year. But I think that's wild. That's crazy for any school system. I don't care if it's Texas, Louisiana, Washington State, New Jersey, Mississippi, Oregon. I don't care where it's at. To get rid of critical race theory being taught in schools is just absolutely wild. People need to know about critical race theory. They need to know about, different ethnic groups. They need to know about just, race in general and how important, it is to know the history of minority groups in this country, not just Black folks, but Native Americans, Hispanics, Asians. Like, it's just such an important conversation that needs to be had, because if we have these dialogues and conversations in regards to race and ethnicity, it gives us a better understanding, of these different cultures. And, for them to just take it out of schools, it's mind blowing. It's like, what? Like, WTF indeed. WTF indeed.
Yeah, that is crazy, man. I've been they've been coming for some time though, and it's like they want to take that out of majority of the schools though. I don't understand why though.
Right.
Like I think each race should know about the other race and backgrounds and where we come from. I think that's why the country is at the point is at right now, because no one is trying to take the time and educate themselves and listen. Everybody is throwing everything out the window and just saying, you know what? Just move on. Like
exactly.
It's crazy. It really is though. Man, that's a WTF moment, man, for real. My WTF moment, man, is a little weird though also, man. My WTF moment came out of Arizona. It was a 16-year-old boy, 16-year-old teenager, had a job working at a Wendy's, trying to earn some extra money and stuff like that, rightfully so. And some tragedy, turned wrong for him.
They caught him. My son is living, and I'm just happy.
Tonight's big story, a Valley father is relieved after the person accused of shooting his teenage son has been arrested. The 16-year-old was shot in the head while working at a local Wendy's. Police say the teen was a bystander during an argument between one of his coworkers and a drive-thru customer. Team 12's Adriana Loya joins us live from Phoenix Children's Hospital. Adriana, what do we know about this teen's condition right now?
Well, 16-year-old Brian Durham Jr. is in stable but critical condition. His father tells me he underwent a 5-hour surgery, but he still can't talk, although he is responding to commands with movements.
Just looking at him in that bed, bro. Like, I'm used to him, Daddy, back there. And he's just like,
Words come up short for this father.
He went to work that day, happy.
After his son, Brian Durham Jr., was shot in the head while working at the Wendy's on 19th Avenue and Glendale Road.
They said how the bullet fragments, they don't know how his speech going to be. It's a long recovery.
Phoenix police say the shooting stemming from an argument at the drive-thru window. Brian's father says his son was at the cash register in between the window and another employee.
So my son is in the middle. Can I get some more barbecue sauce? So the dude on the outside tell him, no, you got to pay for it, whatever, whoop-de-whoop. So he started getting loud in conversation. So from right here, the dude got up out of his car, walked up to the window and just shot. Didn't care about life.
Brian was rushed to the hospital in critical condition. Brian turned 16 in September, and this his first job, which he got to help his mother pay bills.
Brian, he's just an outgoing kid, smart. He likes to stay to himself.
Brian's family initially speaking to us anonymously, scared of the suspect who fled the scene. But about 22 hours after the shooting, police making an arrest.
They called him. I'm very excited.
Brian's father relieved, speaking to us minutes after detectives giving him the news about the arrest.
I forgive him, but I can't forget.
Now, the family looking for a speedy recovery in hopes that Brian can fulfill his dream of joining the military.
We're just going to take it one day at a time and, work with him. But it's going to be an effect on his life.
I'm like, bro, I don't think it's ever that serious. I mean, obviously, with the chicken sandwich that Popeyes came out years ago, we all seen the commotion with that. But nonetheless, though, I don't think it's that serious for barbecue sauce. But my man just felt his needs, though, that he needed to shoot inside of the Wendy's, though, because he did not get enough barbecue sauce, or it wasn't none barbecue sauce at all. He shot inside the Wendy's. It was two other employees that was also along with the 16-year-old. They did not get shot, but the 16-year-old did, and it grazed his head or whatever. But he's still alive. But my WTF moment is, dog, really though, I don't think it's really that serious to be, you couldn't, just grab some barbecue sauce or hot sauce at home though. You really had to do the extra, go the extra mile for some barbecue sauce. WTF, people just don't. People don't think, man. For real. It's just a crazy world we live in right now, though.
Yeah, that's
Crazy times.
wild, man.
Yeah.
People just they just on one, man. Like it's the times that we're in. Like
Yeah.
people are just on one. They, especially like, and I think they're taking advantage of the times too. They're like, it's a pandemic. Like we're just gonna go wild. Like,
Yeah. Yeah, I don't get down with that one though. Like for
yeah,
real,
me neither, man. That's some nonsense right there.
Exactly. As hungry as I may be, and my favorite fast food restaurant, maybe McDonald's. I'm not going, scream at everybody, be like, "Hey, give me some damn chicken, ketchup, and some sweet salt." Nah, I ain't about to do all that. Come on, man.
Right.
You just doing too much. Yeah, WTF moment, you guys, all the way, man. But you guys, man, we gonna keep it moving here on the podcast, man. It's time for the 11:30 podcast hot seat. Yes. Yes, it's time for the 11:30 podcast hot seat. AJ, I got 6 questions for you, and we're gonna roll with it.
All right, I'm ready. I'm ready.
All right. What is 3 things that you think of the most each day?
Money, health, and success.
Okay. Money, health, and success. Yes, look at the times we living in right now. You got to try to, get some money as much as you can and save it, and try to stay healthy because there's a lot of bull stuff going on, man. And for real, success is the ultimate goal. It's the ultimate goal. So I definitely dig that. If you were transported 400 years into the past with no clothes on or anything, how would you prove that you were from the future?
Oh man, I'll just talk about all of the stuff that's out now. iPads, iPhones.
But everybody be looking at you like you weird though. Like
right. I don't know, man. I don't know how I would describe it, but man, yeah. I just describe all of the technology that's out right now.
Okay. Yeah. Actually, to be honest with you, if you ain't come with nothing, I was thinking like, damn, I ain't come with nothing though.
Yeah, like, I know. It'll be hard though.
Yeah.
They're gonna be like, well, what does it look like? I ain't gonna have nothing with me, so I'm gonna have to do my best to describe it.
Yeah. You know what? I don't know if you've seen this series on Netflix called like Black Mirror. And
I have. That's one of my favorite shows ever. I'm glad you mentioned that.
Yeah, man, I love that, John. It was one episode that I showed my fiance, and she was blown away. My best friend actually showed the show to me, and I was like, "Get out of here, though." But there was one specific episode is where a married couple, they was going through some things, and I believe she cheated on him, and he got so upset and everything like that, and he just wanted to know, how it went down, and did you love it or whatever like that. And they had the, obviously this take place years and years in the future where you could look at someone's mind and you could tell them play it back and they can play it on the so maybe that's the only thing that I was thinking of if I went to the future. If I was 400 years in the future, I'd be like, look at that's my digital, that's my DVR, I guess. That's my brain DVR. I don't know, a little fun there. All right, if you could charge $1 million for a service provided by you, what would that be?
Ooh, a service. Ooh, man, that's tough. I would have to say it would be something music related. Like renting out a venue or some DJ equipment. That's the type of service it would be. But yeah, it would be something music related.
Okay, definitely something music related. Okay, cool. Okay, if you could share a meal with 4 individuals, living or dead, who would they be?
Living or dead? One, I gotta say my girlfriend, my queen. So that's one. Number 2, I'll probably say Steve Jobs. Number 3, I will probably say Albert Einstein. And then number 4, I think it'll make it for a good conversation, but probably Michael Jackson.
Okay, I figured that one.
On a conscious, not even just music related. Like I think some of the interviews he's done in the past, like, oh, he's conscious. Like he's a good person. Like you can have good like life talks about. So
okay, I dig that. You said Steve Jobs also, right?
Yep.
Yeah,
just to
okay,
pick
okay.
his brain, man, technology and how he came about with,
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. That was my next one. Okay, got you on that one. Okay, what sport would be the funniest to add a mandatory amount of alcohol to it?
Woo. Soccer, because the
Soccer?
amount of running that they do constantly, at least with football, like they got timeouts. Like after the play is over, they got to gear up for the next play. Basketball, like same thing. If there's like a foul or somebody call a timeout, soccer is continuous kicking of the ball. So if they got to like continuously run up and down the field, kicking the ball, but you add alcohol to the equation, oh man.
Yeah, I was just thinking of basketball. Basketball was the only one I could think of, man. You just going there. Look at shocking the fool. Half of them guys be drunk,
Yeah,
just trying to
right. I watch Shocking the Fool too. Yeah,
trying to make a dunk and be like, oh, what was he thinking? Like, really?
Right.
But yeah, definitely soccer, man. And also basketball. All right. Is there a music band or a music artist, past or present, that you would love to have on the Ravers Circle podcast?
Oh, Cascade. Yep.
Okay. Why Cascade?
Cascade is one of my favorite artists ever, and I would just love to have a sit down with him to talk about things on the music side, but also like personally, like he's been one of my inspirations when it comes to the electronic dance music scene. So, but then an honorable mention will probably be, and I might swap it. So actually, I might swap this answer. Well, I have a 1A and a 1B. 1B will be Carl Cox. I'll talk to him. He's also a legend when it comes to electronic dance music, and he's like one of the pioneers when it comes to African Americans and electronic dance music. Like, he's an inspiration. So.
Okay, that's dope, man. That's dope. Hey, look at man, AJ Hollywood. I appreciate you joining me this week here on the 1130 podcast. It was fun chopping it up with you, man. Just get to know you, man, and everything, man. I wish you the best at everything you do as far as DJ and producing and all the music, man, that you had the passion for. Before you go, any questions, any shout outs, anything you would like to say?
I just want to give a very special shout out to our official sponsors of the Ravers Circle podcast, Discreet Beats. Discreet Beats has been holding it down in Colorado Springs for quite a while. One of the best silent disco companies in the entire world. Shout out to the team over there. You guys are amazing. I love you guys. Thank you for sponsoring our podcast. Can't wait for our next events. So there's that. I want to give a special shout out to my lady, my queen, Lauren. Also want to give a special shout out to all of my supporters out there, everyone that supports, the podcast, that supports my musical journey. And that's just been a great friend to me. Thank you guys so much. And thank you for all the continued support throughout our time. So thank you.
Okay. Hey, I dig it, man. I definitely dig it. AJ Hollywood, you're welcome here anytime. For everyone, once again, the Ravers Circle podcast live each and every Thursday, and also the edit version will be out on Fridays, you guys. Once again, AJ, tell them where they can catch it at, and also when they come on once again.
Absolutely. So like I mentioned earlier, just in case you tuned in late, the live stream to the Ravers Circle podcast is aired every Thursday. The live stream is at 9 p.m. Eastern, and you can catch it on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and Twitch. We stream simultaneously on all 4 platforms. The edited version, it will be out at midnight on Fridays. It will be on all of the DSPs, the Spotifys of the world, Apple, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and then the edited video version of the podcast will be up on YouTube. So we're on pretty much everything.
Okay, there you go, guys, man. For everyone who's listening and for everyone who's watching on YouTube, the links will be down below, for real. Before you go, AJ, man, any favorite in the NFL playoffs?
Oh, hey, so I am a New England Patriots fan. My team got knocked out last night, unfortunately. So, oh man, it stings. It still stings. But as far as the team I'm gonna go for the Tennessee Titans, man. I want to see somebody new win it.
Okay.
out there. So that's for the AFC. NFC, I wouldn't be mad if the LA Rams win it. So.
Nice picks.
Yeah.
Definitely the Tennessee Titans, man. They got it going on. And for the NFC, Green Bay is looking okay though, but we'll see where it goes, man. Definitely we'll see where it goes, man. Hey, yo, once again, AJ Hollywood, I appreciate you joining me this week here on the 1130 podcast, man. Stay safe, stay blessed in everything you do, man. And keep at it, man. Appreciate you joining me this week here on the podcast.
Of course, man. Appreciate it. Thank you. And thank you to everyone that will be viewing and listening to this. Dre, thank you for having me on the podcast. It means a lot. And we'll be in touch again, man.
Exactly. You know you're welcome anytime, man. Be safe.
Yeah, you too.
All right. Thank you, man. Yo, AJ Hollywood, appreciate you joining me this week here on the 1130 podcast. It was an awesome time chopping it up with you, my guy. I love the passion that you have for music. Keep at it. Keep doing your thing, man, and the DJs and just, being a vibe, man, with the Ravers and everything, man. I definitely dig it. We was definitely connecting in the podcast groups and stuff. And I was like, yo, you're definitely fit to come here on the 1130 podcast. So, I'm always down to chop it up with, man, some, definitely new and inspiring, entrepreneurs, whether they podcasting, authors, whatever it is, man. So definitely had to have you on the podcast to chat about your awesome story of just, like I said, your passion for music, being in the military. Thank you for your service, man, and just everything. And also, like we was talking about, far as mental health goes, everyone, man, just, especially in the Black community, turn to someone, get some help. Don't suffer, because that's been the stigma for a long time in the Black community, just sweep it under the rug, be strong and stuff like that. So, yo, man, if you're going through something, man, talk to someone, lend out an open ear, for real, we all need some help. But you guys, man, this has been an awesome show, man. I'm about to head on out of here, for real. This is Wednesday. I'm always excited. And as we were talking about that Kanye West show, man, Kanye West, man, like, my brother really just need to get some help, man. And obviously, in the video, he was like, man, I don't want to be bothered with, bro. Like, leave me alone. And it was a person, I guess, asking for an autograph, and another woman who's claiming to be his cousin. Like, I really don't know. Like he said, yeah, we quick to, throw him under the bus, but man, the brother just need to take some time out and just get some stuff figured out, for real, man. But I hope everybody week is going lovely. I hope everybody day is going lovely also, man. It's about 12:45 now, so we about to get some lunch in, for real. But I'm about to head on out of here, you guys. And before I do, you know what time it is, man. Don't forget to follow the 1130 podcast on all social media platforms. Follow the 1130 podcast on Twitter at the 1130 podcast. Like the 1130 podcast on Facebook. Subscribe. Yeah, subscribe to the 1130 podcast on YouTube. Like it, leave a comment, and do all that great stuff, for real. Also, the 1130 podcast talk pro wrestling. All new episode available this Friday. I appreciate everyone tuning in last Friday for the Commission Talks episode. I had my guys Blockhart and Warren Marlowe on, so that was dope, man. Really, really dope. So tune in this Friday for Talk Pro Wrestling, and also tune in today, you guys. Actually, yes, today at 5 p.m. I will be on Off the Top Ropes podcast along with my guy Warren Marlowe. Commission Talks on Off the Top Ropes podcast today at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So, hey, man, for real, join us if you want to, chop it up and hear some wrestling discussion. So, there's a lot going on in wrestling. And man, I'm out of here. Yeah. Stay blessed, stay safe, give all the glory to God, man. Won't he do it? It's your man Dre, aka Dre on Wheels, and I'm out.